Okay, in the fourth section of our lecture, acute and chronic rhinitis, we will discuss the atrophic rhinitis. In this section, we will talk about what is atrophic rhinitis, what are the clinical features of atrophic rhinitis and how we can treat this condition, and also what's secondary atrophic rhinitis. Like in the previous section, we discussed about hypertrophic rhinitis and also compensatory hypertrophic rhinitis. And in this, now we will talk about the atrophic rhinitis and then secondary atrophic rhinitis. So atrophic rhinitis, also known as ozenia, chronic inflammation of nose characterized by atrophy of nasal mucosa and turbinate bones. So as compared to hypertrophy, now there is atrophy of nasal mucosa. There will be shrinking of the nasal mucosa and turbinate bone. Nasal cavities are roomy and full of foul-smelling crusts. Now it's atrophic. Instead of causing obstruction or narrowing the nostrils, now atrophic rhinitis is causing the shrinking. So there is more roominess of the nostrils or nasal cavities, and it is also associated with foul-smelling crusts. Two types, usually primary and secondary. Primary atrophic rhinitis is mainly due to some hereditary factors, endocrinal disorders, racial factors, nutritional deficiency, infective, and autoimmune process. All these are the causative factors that can lead to primary atrophic rhinitis. It can be hereditary, racial factors, some infections can cause atrophic rhinitis, endocrinal disorders, and autoimmune process. Secondary invaders. If there is secondary atrophic rhinitis, usually secondary invaders are Klebsiella azeni. Then we have diphtherioids, Proteus vulgaris, E. coli, staphylococci, and streptococci. All these are the bacteria that can cause secondary infection or secondary invaders are these. Pathology in case of atrophic rhinitis, what happens here is ciliated columnar epithelium is lost and is replaced by stratified squamous type. So there is change in the epithelial lining. Ciliated columnar epithelium is lost and is replaced by stratified squamous type of epithelium. There is atrophy of seromucinous gland, venous blood sinusoids, and nerve elements. So now there is atrophy of all the glands, everything, and mucous membrane, and that's caused the shrinkage of the mucous membrane glands, less production of mucus. So all these changes occur. There is change of ciliated columnar epithelium to stratified squamous type. There is arteries in the mucosa, periosteum, and bone show obliterative and arteritis. Bone of the turbinate undergoes resorption, causing widening of nasal chamber. So all these are the different changes that ultimately lead to atrophic type of rhinitis, which is characterized by atrophy of nasal mucous membrane and also the bone of the turbinates. Paranasal sinuses are small due to arrested development. Clinical features of atrophic rhinitis seen in females and starts around puberty. So females are affected more, and it's the age at the onset is usually at puberty. Merciful anosmia accompanying foul smell. So foul smelling crusts are present, and there is also anosmia or absence of smell. Complaint of nasal obstruction is present because of those foul smelling crusts present. Epistaxis may occur when the crusts are removed. Epistaxis is the bleeding nose. So when the crusts are removed, this can cause bleeding from the nose. Nasal cavity filled with greenish or grayish-black dry crusts. Removal of crust make nasal cavity roomy. Nasal turbinates may be reduced to mere ridges. Nasal mucosa appear pale. Septal perforation, dermatitis, and saddle deformity may be present. So all these were the clinical features. Next, we also have other clinical features that include, we have atrophic pharyngitis, atrophic laryngitis, hearing impairment, and small paranasal sinuses. So all these are present in atrophic rhinitis, which is due to atrophy or shrinking of nasal mucous membrane, different glands which are present in the mucous membrane, turbinates of the bone. They can be due to hereditary factors, they can be racial factors, they can be, they are more common in females at the age of puberty they develop, and this is associated with crust formation, which are foul smelling crust, hard crust. When they are removed, there is epistaxis or bleeding from the nose associated with the removal of the crust, and usually it is associated with other features like atrophic pharyngitis, laryngitis, hearing impairment, and there are also small paranasal sinuses. Here, if you see, these are the vocal cords, then this is normal larynx, this is the inflamed larynx, and then we have the normal larynx. So these are the pictures that shows headaches are common, hearing impairment is present, and this is inflammation of the pharynx or the back of the throat, inflamed pharynx is there. Treatment is prognosis of atrophic rhinitis. Usually it persists for years and tendency to recover in middle age. So it's present for a long time and then it usually gets better. There is recovery in the middle age. Treatment options, it can be medical, nasal irrigation and removal of crusts, 25% glucose in glycerin, local antibiotics, estradiol spray, placental extract, systemic use of streptomycin, potassium iodide, and then we have surgical options also, in which we have Young's operation and narrowing the nasal cavities. All these are the treatment options. We have medical treatment options. The surgical treatment options usually last for some time, and recovery occurs to some extent in the middle age. And then different treatments, we have irrigation and placental extracts can be used, streptomycin, potassium iodide. These are the medical options. Then we have surgical options in which we have Young's operation and then the narrowing the nasal cavities. Modified Young's operation also, and then we have narrowing the nasal cavities is by submucosal injection. medial displacement of lateral wall of the nose, insertion of fat, cartilage, bone, or Teflon. All these were the treatment options used for the narrowing of the nasal cavity. Then what's secondary atrophic rhinitis? Destruction of the nasal structure by infections like we have syphilis, lupus, leprosy, and rhinoscleroma. So all these infections which cause destruction of nasal structures that can cause atrophic rhinitis, and usually the infections are syphilis, lupus, leprosy, and these are the different patients with features of lupus, and then we have syphilis and leprosy. Causes can be purulent sinusitis, radiotherapy, surgical removal of turbinates. All these can cause secondary atrophic rhinitis. Unilateral atrophic rhinitis in most of these cases. So that was all about atrophic rhinitis. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.